Still one timeout left here for Texas Tech. 8 seconds.
Second down now. Deep strike. Got the big man. Crabtree pulls free. And touchdown. Red Raiders with a second to go.
So I think this moment will be a lot of Tech fans. I wonder if you polled Tech fans, what percent of this moment would be their favorite moment. But we're taking it back to November 1st of 2008. remember the 1st of November. And it's when the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns rolled into town. College game day rolled into town. And Texas Tech ends up defeating the Longhorns 39-33 on the most iconic play in Texas Tech football history. Graham Harrell, deep strike, Crabtree, pulls free, touchdown Red Raiders. With 1 second to go, we storm the field like 50,000 times before the game's over. I think Dustin's got some good stories on that. I still got that newspaper from the day after, burned orange. My number 1 moment, and I'll give my experience on it, and then we'll let Dustin kind of finish up and tell his from the student side. So I was a senior in high school during this game. I was sitting there with my family at this game. Of course, game day was in town, so game day had never been to Lubbock. So me and my dad had to go to game day. Game day was crazy. Of course, Coach Knight was the guest picker and came with the iconic line, "I dearly hope we beat their ass."
There are a lot of people at Texas I like, but this isn't the time for that. I deeply hope we beat their ass today.
In that game that I will remember forever, there's of course their first play of the game, we got the safety. And at that point of the game, I was like, this is the loudest I'm ever going to hear the stadium. And when they got the safety.
A power I formation. Conservative in the end zone safety. A safety on the first handoff of the game. Colby Whitlock. The nose man is in on Chris Obaniah, and it's 2-0 Red Raiders.
You know, from the memories of that game, it was the most electric sporting event I've ever been at. That atmosphere was nonstop, start to finish, just buzzing. And I've never been at a game like that where just the emotions and everybody was so amped up the entire time. Lead the whole game. You're playing really well. You're expecting to win. Texas comes down, drives, takes the lead. And you're like, here we go again. This always happens to us. We're always in a good position to beat them. And then they pull some shit out at the end and beat us. You know, from where I'm sitting, I'm basically at the yard line where the play started from, where the ball was snapped. That's kind of where our seats were. And so, the ball goes opposite side of the field. Crabtree has the catch. Me and my dad have never just hugged for that long in my entire life. We were so excited. We have rare opportunities in our lifetime to beat Texas, and especially a Texas team that was number 1. And on that night, when you were number 7, it was just incredible. The feeling was awesome. Watching the field get stormed was crazy. It was one of the wildest nights of Texas Tech football that I can remember. And it's obviously a feeling that I don't think we'll ever reach again.
Brooks mentioned he was on that 30-yard line that they started the play from. I was actually in the end zone that it happened, that corner of the end zone.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
That ball's coming towards me. I still couldn't believe it. Also, shout out to number 12, Earl Thomas, for not trying on this play. Watch him.
Yeah, you suck, Earl.
I'll walk right by that. Thank you, Earl. And so it was just, the scene of the November 1st game, Halloween type game. The student section is dressed up in anything from, pirates to bananas to, Masked Rider type people.
Jokers.
Literally everything in between. Yeah, Jokers, Batman, everything. It was stupid. And a night game at Texas Tech with that kind of atmosphere. And I know Brooks kind of mentioned it. We don't get to beat Texas often, especially a team that good. I mean, this is still, over 10 years ago when Texas was two or 3 years of coming off a national championship. They're number one in the country for most of the year. They have tons of NFL talent on this team. I mean, Harrell threw for over 400 yards. We called a great game. We played pretty good defense. 474 yards from Graham. I mean, a pick six.
Steps up, intercepted. Picked off by Charbonnet. And Charbonnet scores.
We also complete that pass, which is like a 40-yard pass because you should never throw it across the field for about 35 yards into double coverage and complete it. I mean, the play is just stupid of how deep it is.
Yeah.
And like who's involved in that play. And literally the window is so damn small. And the fact that Harrell just lets it rip from about the 35-yard line to the opposite 5. And Crabtree catches it, somehow stays in bounds. And then, wild scene. And also, the student section rushed the field twice. I did 0 of those, just to make sure we have that on record. I did not rush the field until the final buzzer went off. It was also wild that we kicked off from like the 8-yard line.
I remember that and being like, the band is on the field. That's all I was thinking of when we were kicking off from there. I was like thinking the band is on the field. If we're going to lose this game, this will be how.
Yeah, we rushed after the touchdown because there's technically 1 second left. Then the dumbass students were already on the field. They kind of just pushed everybody back to the wall. So most students are still technically like on the sidelines. And then after the extra point, which time does not run for, they rushed field again and make us kick from like the 8. And of course, Jordan Shipley's back there. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Oh, it was very nerve wracking at the very end there.
Utter chaos.
Just amazing play in that. And him like just running through the end zone like that was awesome too. I mean, what a crazy play. And
Squibbit. Here comes the lateral. There's one. Intercepted. Texas Tech upsets the number 1 team in the country.
My main one, and this goes back to 2013. It's going to be a pointless game to everybody, but it was just big for me because it was my first game to ever go to. And the reason for it was I had just moved to Lubbock. I had literally nobody up there that I knew at all. And I was up, I had just transferred up. I was up there for engineering. My 2 other roommates were engineers as well. And they were kind of more like just in their room, stick to themselves type of people. And so it was literally just me. And I had a friend that wasn't like a close friend, but he invited me to go play basketball at the rec. And we go play some pickup ball during the summer. And I had just moved up there. And I ended up playing a pickup game against Davis Webb. Yeah. And I didn't know who it was. I was just like, oh, hey, cool. Nice to meet you, man. And like, it was this white dude who's kind of tall, and he's able to dunk, by the way. And so
like
it was
6'6".
weird. It was weird. Yeah. He's tall, but it's just like you in your head, you're just like, who is this little skinny white dude that's actually dunking on people? It was really fun to go. And at the time, I think he was a freshman, and Baker Mayfield was starting for him ahead of him. It was that same year. And it was the SFA game where we beat them 61-13, and we smoked the shit out of them. And I'm literally there in the stands by myself. Again, I had nobody to hang out with, but I just wanted to go watch the game because Texas Tech allows students to go for free. And so I was like, all right, cool, this is awesome. And then we just completely blow them out of the water. Mayfield goes off. Ton of fun to watch that game, but that was just my very first Texas Tech sports moment, and it was just kind of cool to have like kind of that relation of like getting to know the freshman incoming quarterback, getting to know, hang out with him and getting to know him a little bit, and then seeing him on the field going to the first game.
catch y'all at the next tailgate.